Hey everybody, my name is Paul Tomasch, president of the ICS Travel Group. We get a lot of questions from a lot of clients that are actually very, very good questions. We decided to do some training sessions on us, ICS Travel Group in general, but also on the destinations. So these are going to be 30-minute webinars that you can watch at home, you can watch at work. If you have 30 minutes time, we can give you a little bit of information on the destinations, and when you really like it and when you have clients who are interested, we can give you more information. Contact us. You can send these webinars to your friends and colleagues and clients, and we will be happy to be able to help you a little bit to sell these destinations a little bit better. So let's start all over. Today we are presenting Japan. Japan is sort of the fastest growing Asian destination for us. And not only for us, I think it's for everybody. Let's just dive right into it and give you some sort of a fast-paced introduction on the country of Japan. I will, though, turn my video off so you can focus a little bit better on the presentation itself. Here we go. Japan. Rich history, captivating beauty, a harmonious blend of tradition and innovation. The country has been in the forefront of tourism since it reopened in early 2023. Our clients are usually going the same routing, starting mostly into Tokyo, connecting then for a day trip or overnight to see Mount Fuji, then to Kyoto, the old capital, and Osaka, if they have time and if they're interested in food, shopping, in nightlife. So that's usually the itinerary, and then we're also going to highlight some destinations that are not as well known. With its diverse landscape and rich cultural heritage, Japan offers a captivating journey for adventurous travelers. The country is divided into several regions, each with its own unique charm and attractions. Starting in Honshu, the largest and most populous island, you will find a blend of ancient tradition and modern marvels. We've been really very, very strongly promoting Tokyo as a multi-generation, multi-cultural tourist. We have in Japan, and especially also in Tokyo, old versus young. We have very old monuments, pagodas, temple shrines. We also have the high-tech new part of Tokyo that people are looking for in terms of anime and in terms of other technology highlights. One of the fun facts is that these capsule hotels that you see here are usually located outside of significant train stations in the big cities. And people who are interested for a one-night accommodation, sometimes local businessmen who had a little bit too much to drink, or some foreigners who want to explore something completely different, we are able to help you with booking those capsule hotels. There's newer ones in Tokyo, Kyoto, and Osaka. So if you're interested, we can always help with that. That's a really good little gimmick for a night. We wouldn't probably suggest to stay any longer in those. Another fun fact is that anime and manga are Japanese creations that have gained popularity all over the world. Japanese animation and comic books have a devoted following and covers a variety of genres as well. The Japanese snow monkeys, are one of the cutest part of the wildlife in Japan. They usually swim in hot springs in winter. They're located mostly near the city of Nagano, and they're very well liked site and representation of Japan's biodiversity. Let's start with the beginning. We are looking into the immigration in Japan. There are two types of immigration that you can go through. One is a online system and a website and an app called the Visit Japan Web. It has a specific website that you can see on the screen as well. When you log in with your flight, with your name, with your passport details, you can automatically upload a immigration form plus the customs form. So you don't need to go and fill them out in front of the immigration. You will still have to line up at the same counters as everybody else. So you don't really save some time. And those forms are usually handed out on planes, but it saves you just from filling it out on the plane or on the ground before you go through immigration. The other forms, obviously, like they used to be, are the customs declaration and the disembarkation forms. Those are really quick to fill out. I mean, I did this a couple of times. Disembarkation form takes you about a minute to fill out, maybe customs form 2 minutes. You line up the same line as everybody else, so it's not that you're losing any time once you have them filled out, and they usually send out by, or they will be handed out by the airline. You're fine to go through immigration as well. A couple of key destinations that we suggest and suggested activities. Tokyo, obviously, Japan's busy and sprawling capital mixes ultra-modern, traditional, as I mentioned, from neon-lit skyscrapers to historic temples. It's famous for a fabulous food scene, pop culture, tranquil gardens, futuristic fashion, and high-speed bullet trains as well. Cultural heritage, Tokyo boasts numerous historical and cultural sites, including the iconic Sensoji Temple in Asakusa, the Imperial Palace, the Meiji Shrine. These are places often insight into Japan's rich history and traditional architecture. The newer part, the technology and innovation, is also in Tokyo. Cutting-edge technology and futuristic experiences in Akihabara, the electronics district, or Odaiba, the futuristic entertainment area showcasing the latest gadgets and tech wonders. Culinary delights, Tokyo is also very famous as a food lover's paradise. There's more Michelin star restaurants in Japan than anywhere else in the world. And that you can see when you go into the culinary scene, world-class sushi, street food, and tempuras and everything else. A wide range of delectables dishes as well. Looking at fashion and shopping, fashion-forward districts like Harajuku, and Shibuya are famous for their trendy clothing, boutiques, and unique street styles as well. The cosmopolitan cityscape of Tokyo, and in the back you see Mount Fuji, which you can see on a good day from the Skytree in Tokyo, is one of the highlights of the city views when you are going into the city. Suggested activities, obviously, Tokyo has a lot. One of my favorites, or if not the favorite, is the Team Lab Planet in Tokyo, which is an immersive work of exhibition areas. It is an amazing place for old and young. You are immersed into culture, into high tech, into laser, into everything. The only thing to remember is that you need to take your shoes off because you will be knee deep in water, which is part of the excitement. So unless you have issues with walking, it is a fantastic place to visit. We all love Team Lab Planet. It's for old and for young. And if you have time, 2 hours it takes to go through the whole attraction, we strongly recommend. You have to reserve your space in a certain time. So we strongly recommend to book in advance. Calligraphy is a very famous thing in Japan. You can write your name, you can write the name of your kids, you can write the name of your city where you're from. It's a really nice place to see some old calligraphy from ancient Japan. Skytree, as I mentioned, is an iconic symbol of modern Japan. World's tallest broadcasting tower, 634 meters high. You can see all of Tokyo from there. And again, if you're lucky with the weather, you can see Mount Fuji as well. Here's a Skytree in Tokyo. A really beautiful, beautiful sight. One of the things that we do all the time, almost with every client, is do sushi making classes. Clients love that. Clients want to see how sushi is done. They want to know how the fish is prepared. Other activities are sumo stables, where you can either see the training of sumo wrestlers or you can see the actual sumo wrestling competitions. There are certain times of the year, so if you want to see that, we have to tell you if they're available. For example, Tokyo, Japan is January, March, and September, I believe. So we have to really make sure that if you want to see sumo, that you're at the right place at the right time. Moving on, 30 minutes south of Tokyo is the famous legendary Mount Fuji. You can see most of it in the city called Hakone. Hakone is a small town known for its onsen, hot springs, traditional inns, world-class art museum, and a spectacular mountain scenery, including the sacred mountain of Fuji, an active volcano at Japan's highest peak. Suggested activities in Hakone are, for example, pirate ship that cruises on Lake Kawaguchi. It sounds a little bit cheesy, but it's actually amazing. The ship is really, really nice. Great views, and you sail across the lake, which is a beautiful sight. Plus, in the back, if you're lucky, you see Mount Fuji as well. So it's a great place to visit. It's a great place to see, and I definitely recommend a little ship tour on the pirate ship. Um, Owakudani is the area with hot springs. Hakone has a ropeway, which is a cable car basically to the Gora station. From there, you can see the hot springs, and the hot springs are also feeding most of the onsens, most of the spas in the city of Hakone. So you can see that coming straight out from the ground, these hot springs, and it's a really amazing sight to see. Another suggested activity is to try the eggs that are boiled in the hot springs. Owakudani eggs, not everybody's taste, but it's a great idea to just maybe taste them a little bit, see if you like them. It's very popular, especially in the Hakone area. You can do a lot of hikes, you can walk around, you can bike around. There's a lot of nature around Fuji and Hakone. So that's another thing to do while you are at Fuji. We strongly recommend a night because then you have 2 days option to see Mount Fuji because the mountain is often in clouds. Day trip sometimes doesn't work, but if you spend a night, you have at least 2 chances to see the Fuji. Onsen hot springs are very popular, either hot springs itself or in hotels. You can choose. We can recommend a hotel with a nice natural hot spring. It's a great thing to do, especially in the colder month. Coming on to Kyoto. Kyoto is the old capital and the most popular city in Japan altogether. Kyoto evokes Japan of the old days with tea houses, atmospheric temples, Zen gardens, and traditional geisha district. It's a really nice place for people who want to see how Japan used to be. It is obviously also a place for great food, great sushi spots, great kaiseki dinners. So you have really good food, you have really good sights, and you feel transformed into old Japan. Kyoto is home to numerous historical temples and shrines, each with its own unique architectural style and significance. Some of the must-visit attractions include the Kinakaku-ji Golden Pavilion. Fushimi Inari is one of the temples that is probably most photographed in all of Japan. And it's the Arashiyama Bamboo Grove, which is in the backyard, is also one of the highlights of Kyoto. When we look at the city itself, we have a couple of suggested activities that people are usually asking for. Kimono dress-up experience, very famous, especially for mothers and daughters or newlyweds, honeymooners. A nice experience to get dressed in traditional Japanese kimono and take photography out of it. A day trip to Nara is one of my favorite things to do. You have those beautiful, beautiful deer that come to you and ask you to give them some food. And if you don't, they ask you again and get a little bit more direct. It's really funny. These deer are very, very cute. And they're really the highlight, in my opinion, of Nara, even though Nara has this, which is the castle, and a beautiful, beautiful place to visit. Very photogenic. So it's a half-day tour of Kyoto, strongly recommended from us. A day trip to Nara, definitely worth it, in my opinion. Another suggested activity is the sake tour, a tasting. You can see breweries where sake is being made and test different types of sake. Tea ceremony, same kind of a thing. Very, very ancient, very, very old, very, very historic, a great elegance of a ceremony, captivating, the ritual steeped in tradition. It's a great way to see ancient history of Japan in the tea ceremony. Coming to Osaka, which is about 30 minutes away by train from Kyoto. Osaka has always been known for its vibrant atmosphere, culinary delights, and cultural attractions. It's a lot of shopping, a lot of restaurants, a lot of bars. Dotonbori, which is what you see here in the photo, is the place to be on both sides of the canal. You have restaurants, shops, and things like that. So it's a really cool place to explore for old and for young. Osaka is often referred as Japan's kitchen due to the fact that it's a really outstanding culinary scene. So you can definitely visit amazing food areas, bars, and shops, etc. The iconic Osaka Castle is very famous. Long lines usually, so we are recommending to do a tour through us because we can help you to minimize the wait with our guides and with our tickets. So if you want to see the castle, which is in my opinion a must, definitely a good idea to do it in an organized tour through us. Another suggested activity are the Universal Studios. If you are interested in those or your kids, it's a great place also to do that. The aquarium is famous for its diversity of marine creatures. Sharks, rays, and other vibrant fish are here as well. We want to highlight a couple of places that are a little bit out of the normal tourist areas. One of them is Takayama, a charming town in the Gifu prefecture, well known for its restored Edo period architecture, serene mountain scenery, and some annual festivals. The city is approximately 5 hours away by train from Tokyo. So you would require spend a night or two in Takayama, but it's a really nice excursion to something a little bit less busy than Kyoto, Osaka, or Tokyo. Suggested things to do is a cycling tour, hiking tour, and things like that. Really beautiful nature as well. Kanazawa, similar in the Ishikawa prefecture, also very well known for its gardens, for its traditional crafts and lively food scene. It's about a 3 hour train ride from Tokyo. And I think that, again, you would spend a night here, and it's really gives you an idea on Japan away from the crowd. So if you want to see something a little bit different, Kanazawa is the place to go. There's also a very nicely restored samurai district, which we highly recommend to tour when in Kanazawa. Nagano is on the western side of Honshu Island and is very well known for skiing. Nagano also has these beautiful snow monkeys, but the skiing is the number one in winter. There's summer hiking as well. Most people come there in winter to ski. It was the Olympic area for the Winter Olympics in 1998. About 45 minutes away from Nagano is the ski area of Hakuba, which is where all the alpine skiing happened. So Hakuba, Nagano are the places to ski in summer. You can hike there. And you can see those wonderful snow monkeys that are in winter. A real delight bathing in the hot springs. Really, really nice. I really enjoyed it very much. If you are interested in history, and if you are interested in traditional Japan, but also in recent history, World War II history, Hiroshima is the place. Yes, there's the bomb. That's significant, but there also has been a lot of old culture in Hiroshima as well, which you can visit. We feel it's a great introduction to recent history and older history of Japan. The Peace Memorial Park is dedicated to the victims of the atomic bomb. It also fosters peace, memory, and a nuclear weapons-free world. It's a very nice place to visit. In addition, we can take a very short ferry ride to Miyajima Island, where you can see the famous, iconic floating Torii Gate, which you see in the back here. It has some really beautiful nature as well, and beautiful mountains around it. So it's a good excursion. Hiroshima, if you have time and if you're interested, I would definitely recommend it. Going north to Hokkaido, the northern island of Japan, where you find in winter lots of skiing and in summer lots of hiking. Most people go there for skiing, but we also recommend sometimes in summer when it's too hot in Tokyo and Kyoto, go to the north. It's cooler weather. It's really nice and pleasant. Sapporo has something for everybody year round. There's a beer museum for a very great um, glass of beer that is produced in Japan. Japan is the country with the highest consumption of beer worldwide. And many of those breweries are in Sapporo. We can meet a samurai swordsmith, which is tradition in Sapporo as well. And also ramen tasting. Ramen is very popular in Sapporo, and you can see some of the most spectacular ramen restaurants all over Japan here in Sapporo. In the very south of Japan is Okinawa, and Okinawa is very well known as a tropical climate island with great beaches. It's a very nice place for summer activity, for beach activity, water sport activity, year round. And the weather is tropical year round. You have typhoon season in August, September. But aside from that, it's a great place to visit. Beach time, water time. You can witness dragon boat races and incredible nature as well. Okinawa has something for everybody. And we have more and more clients who like to end up a Japan vacation on a beach. And Okinawa is the place to do that. Some travel tips. Shinkansen experience is the high-speed train experience that should not and could not be missed. We strongly recommend to at least take one trip on a Shinkansen. It's fantastic. Great train, clean, fast, high-tech. Public transportation is great. When you do sightseeing, we can help you to do a day of public transportation sightseeing. Makes things quicker, and it's really fun to do subways in Japan. Trust me, it's a great place to do that. Cash usage, while credit cards become much more accepted, we definitely recommend to have cash on hand. You can either change money at the airport or you can use an ATM. ATMs are a little bit tricky because not every ATM works with North American ATM cards. You can do that at the airport at some ATMs, or you can do it at any 7-Eleven, and there's millions of them. 7-Elevens in Japan all have an ATM that works with American credit cards. Normal ATMs don't do. Etiquette, familiarize yourself with Japanese customs, like bowing, proper manners, show respect to the local culture. It will always help you, and the clients will always be happy when they're immersed into the local culture. Language, learn a few basic Japanese phrases, have a translation app, and you'll be very well off because some Japanese do not speak English. Tipping, very simple. There's no tipping. Don't tip. It can be considered impolite. Don't tip. It's not necessary and it's not recommended. You take the shoes off when you go indoors anywhere, private house, anywhere. You take your shoes off in the ryokans as well, in the hotels. Trash disposal. Remember, Japan doesn't have too many trash cans. Most people take a plastic bag and put their garbage into their plastic bag throughout the day, carry the plastic bag around, and at the end of the day, they bring the bag home to the hotel and then they dispose it there. There's very few trash cans in Japan. We cannot buy Disneyland tickets. We can drive you there and we can do the hotels, but we cannot actually do the tickets because it's official websites only. So you will have to buy this yourself as a client. Arrival and departure, try to arrive in Tokyo and depart from Osaka if possible. In terms of arrival in Tokyo, we strongly recommend Haneda Airport over Narita Airport because it's closer to town, easier to get to. If you are going to arrive and leave from Tokyo, that's not a problem either. We can take the Shinkansen train from Osaka, for example, back to Tokyo and then bring it to the airport on time for your flight. The timing, the peak tourist season in Japan is typical coincides with specific periods, like the cherry blossom, late March to April, Golden Week, late April, early May. To avoid those busy periods, plan your trip for some other times of the year, such as autumn, September to November. End of May, early June are very, very good. July, August is also not too bad, but it's a little bit warm. So I would be careful with the weather in July and August if you want to do full days of sightseeing as well. Try to get get a look into alternative destinations. The busiest places in Japan are usually Tokyo, Kyoto, Osaka, and Hakone. If there's anything that you can do off the beaten track, we showed you a couple, Takayama and Kanazawa. I would recommend those, at least to throw them in to have something a little bit more local Japanese. Explore early morning or late evening. There's some places that we recommend to do early morning or late evening where you find less crowds than through the rest of the day. And the book accommodation advance. Not only accommodation, but also guides and transportation are very, very busy. So we would recommend not to book anything less than 30 days before arrival. Probably more like 60 to 90 days if you can. But the minimum should be 30 days. If you have something less than 30 days, it can get really, really iffy because we don't know if we get the right guides and the right transportation for you. Hotels should be okay for the most part, but the ground services can be a problem if you book too late. This is the card that you want to have, and if you have an iPhone, almost everybody has an iPhone, and you go to your wallet app, then you can find a SUSE card as well. It's reloadable, and you can pay with that card subway and everything else as well. You don't need coins, you don't need cash. The card is good for everything. The subway system doesn't allow credit cards. So you can either pay with this card or cash, and cash is a little tricky because you need coins. So I would strongly recommend to take this card and fill it up the way you need to with money, and then use it to pay almost anything on the ground in Japan. Fushimi Inari is one of the, or if not the most photographed place in all of Japan. If you go at 6 o'clock in the morning, you see this. If you go at 8 o'clock in the morning, you see only people. I would definitely recommend early because you avoid the crowds, you avoid people standing around. If you want a photo like this, you've got to go early in the morning. Ramen making, very, very popular in Japan, a very ancient tradition, excellent place. Geisha district in Kyoto, very popular. Some of the geisha district is now closed because some of the tourists were doing some not so funny things there, harassing geishas and things like that. So try to be respectful when you see them. They're doing a job. And remember that some of the geisha district is forbidden to enter nowadays for foreigners. If you go to Nara, you see those wonderful animals, deer from Nara. They're really, really cute. Definitely something that we recommend to do. This is the Chureito Pagoda near Hakone with a great, fantastic view of Mount Fuji. Highly recommend to go there to see a beautiful, beautiful view on the mountain. Ryokans are very popular, traditional Japanese accommodation with traditional Japanese breakfast, traditional Japanese food, and futons. If you want to experience this for a night, I would strongly recommend to do that. This is the river in Kyoto, old part of Kyoto. We do some tours in Tokyo to something called Golden Gai, which is an area with smaller bars and restaurants, very traditional. This is Hakuba in Japan, where you can go skiing in winter. This is Golden Gai in Tokyo, where you find small bars, sometimes 2, 3, 4 people fit into one, and small restaurants, and a really nice entrance into traditional Japanese nightlife. This is the Arishiyama bamboo forest. This is how it looks 6 o'clock in the morning or 7. When you go later and the buses come with the tourists, you'll see only people. So I would strongly recommend here as well. to go early in the morning. This is part of the what I recommend strongly to do. Team lab in Japan, in Tokyo. There's also now a team lab in Osaka. Really nice immersive area of a beautiful, beautiful experiential museum. I highly recommend Team Lab. And here's a beautiful view from the lake in Hakone on Mount Fuji. If you like combinations, we can combine with Seoul and Korea. We can combine with Hong Kong. And we can also combine with Beijing if that's what you're looking for. These are great combinations that we can put together. Our company does a very good job in putting itineraries together for multi-countries. So you don't have to play with it yourself. You don't have to put itineraries together. We do that for you. Thanks again for this. Thanks again for listening. Thanks again for being part of the ICS family. We really appreciate it. You can always contact me by phone, by email, social media as well. If you have any questions, you can always ask. And if you want something from us, email us. We can give you itineraries. We can give you pricing. And we can also help you to find the right tour for the right people. Thanks again. It was a pleasure to have you with us. We will do more videos of other destinations. And thanks again and all the best. And we hope to see you again in Asia. Thank you.